Sustanon 250. This is a classic king of testosterone in the world. There's no question. This testosterone ester blend is classic as a bulking anabolic steroid used by bodybuilders, powerlifters, any man who just wants to get big and strong. This is definitely not a cutting drug. It's also used historically for decades by athletes for cheating. And this is the #1 most common used testosterone replacement ester mix in the world outside of America. And we're going to talk about why it's not in America. Let's start right off. The history of Sustanon 250 brought to the international markets in the 1970s by Organon. Organon later transferred to Schering-Plough, currently transferred to Merck. These are big pharmaceutical companies. Remember, Organon is responsible for bringing us decanoate, andriol, which is an oral form of testosterone undecanate, and also Pregnil, which is a brand name for human chorionic gonadotropin. Sustanon 250 came into the market in the 1970s to offer a therapeutic advantage over the existing esters that we had for TRT. That was over propionate, testosterone propionate, cypionate, and enanthate. Let's take a look at the details of exactly what makes up Sustanon 250. 4 classic esters that the chemists put together back in that time. Testosterone propionate, 30 milligrams. Testosterone phenylpropionate, 60 milligrams. Testosterone isocaprioate, 60 milligrams. Testosterone decanoate, 100 milligrams, for a total of 250 milligrams, Sustanon 250. Let's think about it. Now, where do they come up with that name? Sustanon, sustainable, and from Organon, Sustanon, sustainable from Organon. That's in the streets, what I've learned from my patients as the anabolic doc over decades. People have told me this. Let's go back and look at these esters independently. Why this drug is so phenomenal and so unique. They realized that propionate's too short acting, too many injections, and at that time they realized that enanthate and cypionate were basically bioidentical in half-life, in action, that they can do better. And they would want to deliver a drug that has short-acting, intermediate-acting esters. So, propionate, very short-acting, need to inject it though every couple of days. Then testosterone phenylpropionate is a little bit longer-acting than the standard propionate, adding a phenyl group. Just slightly, that waxy ester tail allows it to delay a little bit, so now they're breaking it down so it's a little bit more delayed. Now, testosterone isocaprioate, 60 milligram part. This is very similar to the esters that are well known, cypionate and enanthate. So can be injected every 2 weeks or so, although we all know that that is most likely not the best way to do it, and microdosing is better. Now, that medicine, isocaprioate, is something that is really not seen in the world, isolated by itself. Testosterone decanoate, the 100 milligram portion here, which is the biggest portion of this mix of esters, is classic drug. This is the longest acting ester that can be given every 3 weeks. This was never marketed, and none of these were marketed except for testosterone propionate in America. And this was marketed as a veterinarian steroid in Mexico. And the classic amazing history is this is the company and the steroid that went down in 2005 with the Fed operation, Operation Gear Grinder. That's for all you guys that love the history. I love to present it to you guys. So the details are incredible on the chemistry of this. It looks like the perfect ester mix. So does it really work? And do we have studies on this? We actually do not. And we don't have it in America, and I'll review that history a little bit later here. But if you look at the anecdotal histories for men that use this drug, men swear by this drug. This is for TRT, not to mention steroid use. They feel this drug makes them feel better in the central nervous system. It's more bioavailable, not to mention they dose this every week, classically, 1 cc a week. It's old history. Sustanon 250, 1 mil a week. I've heard that for decades. Also, microdose, men feel better too. Now, this is where the amazing feature comes in, that why would this be better than microdosed enanthate or cypionate? When I look at microdosing of my patients with enanthate or cypionate, we look at peak, we look at troughs, we look at total and free testosterones. It's quite predictable that with esters, the free portion of testosterone is going to be slightly higher. There's no question. And for that value and that reason alone, the man feels better. His central nervous system is stimulated on this and does feel better. Now, the peaks and the troughs are absolutely so important, and every man's chemistry is so unique. And this is where I think I figured it out. But of course, I want comments here, guys. I want to discuss this, and I'd love to have real biochemists and biological guys, and even if we can get some chemists that produce steroids, real chemists that know this, I'd love to see some discussion here. When a man injects esters of testosterone into his body, it is just for delivery. The long waxy ester tail is to slow down delivery because the oil and water doesn't mix, and everyone knows this chemical property. That's what they take advantage of with the waxy ester tails. Every man has different enzymes throughout his body, of course, everywhere in the body. In the central nervous system, throughout the body, it can be different. And he has cleaving enzymes that liberate that testosterone off the carrier into the free state, and it goes through the specific cell and has its targets, central nervous system and a muscle. This is how it works. Now, in a man, there is no way to measure in a complete sense what's really happening. So you have to look at anecdotal scenarios. If you just measure total and free testosterones on different esters, they can be high, they can be low, they can look great, but men say they feel better on this. So for some reason, my feeling is that this mix of esters for some men is just so complete for them. And it's possible that because it's so many esters and just the right combination of esters provides the central nervous system with a great feel, because it's changing. Because you have so many esters and they're all on their different times and they're cleaving esters, and the pharmacokinetics is that in the brain there's always change. Remember, when you want to have a great effect in life, you will maintain status quo is not good. Changing, the body responds to ever changes. So maybe it's because of this. This is just the stuff that I think about. No one knows. It's going to be so hard to really determine what's different about these esters when you look in labs, and the total testosterone in the free will be the same, depending on microdosing with the standard esters, cypionate and enanthate. So we'll never know. But there's no question that men swear by it, and I would love to use this in America, but I can't. This is the #1 TRT ester in the world. My patients abroad, in the UK mainly, this is their drug of choice from doctors. Not in America. Why? I thought about it. And let's go back in the history. So in the 1970s, when Organon was marketing this, the Organon is a company, a Dutch company, not an American company, and originally 1970s. And when Sustanon 250 came into the market to improve on the current esters, propionate, enanthate, and cypionate, so look at America. What was going on in the 1970s in America? Two esters were marketed here, and I assume were selling quite well. Testosterone enanthate, Testosterone, and that's Squib, so that's a big company. The other one is testosterone cypionate, Depot Testosterone. These are the brand names by Upjohn. Now, imagine Organon wants to come into America and approach America and come in the feds and go into their application process, and because they feel that Sustanon 250 is going to be a great drug. It's better than the current esters, and that there's a good market in America for it, which of course there probably would have been at that time. Certainly is now. And what happens? They're pushed out. It never made it politically. So that's really it. That happened to this drug. It must have happened. Unfortunately, guys, it's business and money, powerful features, and that's just the truth. So what do we have today? In America, we have generic cypionate and enanthate, which is what I use for my patients, and we microdose. And I think that's very, very good, and it can be great, and men can feel great. We can combine in America propionate with enanthate, or propionate with or cypionate, because again, those are federally allowed. They're both generic, but we can compound those. Those are drugs that have been cleared here. So that's about all we have, and that's it for this video. Amazing history of Sustanon 250. Please get some comments going on this, especially guys outside America. And I do thank everyone so much, and I really hope this helps men in the world. Thank you so much.